Phil and Diana have found a haven on the island's shore, where the elements have shaped both their home and their story. But first we'll visit Stacy and Gary's seaside cottage, where floor-to-ceiling windows open up to the Atlantic. The simple exterior belies a warm, craft-filled interior that embraces the rhythm of ocean living. Water, deep, flowing, mysterious, ever-changing yet constant, the inspiration of artists and adventurers. It's the foundation of life. We are drawn to it, to watch it, listen to it, immerse ourselves, and for those who choose, to live beside it.
My name is Stacy Anthony, and I'm a retired resource teacher. We first found this place when we were camping across the street. We camped there for about 4 years, and it was a beautiful spot. And we just took a drive over here and purchased this on a whim, basically. It was like, let's go see that. And then we called the real estate agent, and they were able to come within 30 minutes. It was mostly me that wanted it because I've always wanted to live by the water. I love the view here, and we didn't know it when we bought it, but amazing sunrises and sunsets, which is a huge bonus. I find it really calming, and I'm one of those people who's always been drawn to the water. Like when you stare into a fire, it has the same calming effect, I find. The buy went fairly smoothly. It was an American couple, and they had owned the property for several years, but had only used it 2 weeks this summer for 4 years or something like that. When we bought it, it was essentially new. We bought it mostly furnished, so I've added a few decorating touches myself, but basically all the furniture was here. Water's always been a part of my life in that I swam daily as a teenager in the lake right across from my house. We had an in-ground pool. When I got my own house, eventually I had a big in-ground pool in there as well, so swimming's been always part of what I do for fun. The water here is fairly clear, which I really like. You can see what's down near your feet. And as I've gotten older, I think I'm more of a pool girl, but I still like looking at the water. We decided to name the place the Sands at Darnley. We looked at various names online, just trying to find some motivation, and that's what we came up with. Being here, I found the coastal sanctuary I was looking for. I'm always very happy when I'm here, and as soon as I hit the bridge, like that's when I'm happiest, and it just relieves all stress. I'm retired, but anyway, it's a special feeling when you come over that bridge. When you come in the front door, it's a very open feel, and there's a lot of floor-to-ceiling windows that add natural light to the room. Then if you turn left and go down the hall to the main bedroom, again, it's very light and bright with the big windows. Across the hall from that is what we call the queen bedroom, and it's a nice fair-sized room as well. And then when you come down the hall again, we call it the double room because it's a double bed in there. It's nice and bright as well. There's a bathroom next door to that. The kitchen and living space are one big room, and it makes good for entertainment. If you have friends over, they can watch you cook and you can still converse with them at the same time. When we first came here, the place was fully furnished, but I've added a few touches. I've started like some rug hooking pieces and things like that to put here and there. The sign over the bookcase, I made that with the name of the cottage. Generally speaking, when I'm coming over here with some of my art projects in mind, I take over a whole bedroom and all of the art supplies go in there and we close the door. The kitchen dining room area are my favorite areas just because of the view. The thing I think is unique about the place are the windows and the pickled ceiling, and I like the cathedral ceilings because it just makes the cottage feel a lot bigger. It's 1,120 square feet, but just gives a big open, airy feeling to it. I just spend most of my time here. I basically just go in the bedroom to sleep. And I spend a lot of time on the deck as well. I haven't really done anything to the cottage. We did have a flood here once because the wind blew the screen door off, which caused the rain to come in. So the flooring has all been replaced in the main living areas and the hallway. I love the windows here because they're so big and they let a lot of natural light into the cottage. The cottage is surrounded with water on 3 sides, and you can walk to 4 beaches. There's like a little walking beach down in the front here, and if the tide's out, you can walk around the point, and that'll take you to a little private beach. And then there's 2 big beaches behind the cottage. When I drive in the driveway, I'm always happy to be here. First thing you see is the outside shower. It has a big wraparound deck. Sitting on my deck and looking at the wide open spaces and the water, it really feels like my own sanctuary. Sometimes you can find shade on one side of the house or the other. There's always one spot that's good to sit, which is nice that you have a variety. And then there's a fire pit, which we like to spend quite a bit of time with my friends. It's so windy here that you can't really decorate and put anything outside because it will blow away. The neighbor's outdoor shower blew over twice and yanked all the plumbing out of the house. So yeah, it's kind of windy here. My patio table was found in a field out behind the cottage with the top fully intact. So everything has to be lashed to the deck just to make sure that it stays secure. I usually feel inspired to do my art sitting in the rocking chair. It depends on how much wind there is that day, whether you can even do any arts and crafts out there. Because I did try one thing and I was using roving and the wind was blowing it everywhere. And there was bright neon pink roving all over the neighborhood that I was responsible for. So it's very much dependent on the weather. We haven't really done any exterior renovations other than putting the metal roof on. Because I had shingles and they weren't that old, but I was having to pay somebody every windy Tuesday to replace shingles on the roof, between $50 and $250 every second week. So we just decided to put the metal roof on instead. The guy next door, his shed blew past my bedroom window, and I have a picture of that. I think it might have been in one of the hurricanes. The patio furniture actually came with the cottage. It's heavy teak furniture and it doesn't tend to blow away, but we do store the rocking chairs upside down because we don't want them to become projectile, and that seems to be the safest way to do it. As I'm approaching the bridge, I roll down my window and take a big breath of that salt air. It's just a relief. It's nice and safe here. People are really nice. What I like most about living by the water is the view. I love to stare at the water. It doesn't have to be ocean, but I'm just fortunate that it is. I'm mostly outside on the deck. I sit out in the rocking chair and just stare at the ocean and drink iced tea. The fresh salt air that you smell on the deck, it's very nice. I'm always on the go, going to restaurants or going to the beach, walking the dog, looking for sea glass. I do have quite a few groups of girlfriends that tend to come over, and we have what we call our little craft retreats, and it's usually 4 or 5 girls that come over and spend the weekend, and we do rug hooking and all kinds of weird and interesting art projects. All the neighbors are really nice here. If you need a cup of sugar, somebody will loan you a cup of sugar. We do have a lot of potlucks and barbecues and games out in the field in front of my cottage where we did horseshoes, and I call it beer frisbee, where you had to knock a beer bottle off a post with a frisbee. You know, it's a good community of people. I get up, I have a coffee on the deck, and I might have my breakfast on the deck. And then I usually go for a walk on the beach with the dog. And then I come back and I have some more coffee. It's all about the coffee. I might go shopping for the day, but I like coming back here where it's so much more tranquil and there aren't as many people. After supper, I might read a book out on the deck. I might have a glass of wine. My dog Goose loves going to the beach, and as soon as he gets on there, he tries to dig to China. I like going to the beach because I like to look for sea glass and heart-shaped rocks. Since I haven't had much luck finding sea glass, heart-shaped rocks are my next best thing. I just like the view and I like taking pictures. But I don't usually do that and combine that with a walk with the dog because that's a very bad picture. The first year we had it, I made 23 trips over here just for weekends, and sometimes I would drive over just for one night. It's much better now that I'm retired because at least I get to come for a month and a half or 2 months every time I come. I don't like to go home from here once I'm here. I basically cry as I'm leaving, going over the bridge. There aren't any plans in the works to do any upgrading at the current time. At some point, I would like some type of shade structure at the back of the cottage. It just enables you to find shade somewhere else. When I come over in the spring, it's very busy and I'm doing a lot of work. It looks good on Facebook, but there's a lot of back work that needs to be done, supplies that need to be purchased, repairs that need to be done. And so it's very, very busy. But this past week when I've been here has been lovely because I haven't done anything. It's more relaxing here because I am on vacation. There's nothing really that I have to do here. Whereas if I'm at home, I'm thinking about, I need to do the dishes. I need to mow the lawn. Here it's just the fun stuff. I would highly recommend getting a place like this so that you can have it as a sanctuary for yourself. A lot of the guests who come to stay at the cottage have gone and done that as well. I'd say 3 or 4 of my guests now have their own cottages just because they enjoyed staying here so much. I think people like living by the water because they are maybe like me and they find it relaxing just staring at the ocean. And it's quiet and peaceful, watching birds, the salt air. I have ancestors from PEI. I feel like I really should have been born an islander. I think home means to me someplace where you're always relaxed and comfortable and happy. And I find that I definitely feel that way about this place.
My name is Phil Metcalf. I'm actually from England. I was born in Liverpool during the war. We moved to Canada in 1951. We were both teachers. We retired and then moved out here and built our dream home, and very happy to be here on the island.
My name's Diana Metcalf, and I was born in Toronto and grew up there, went to university, and I don't do a whole lot because I'm retired.
What happened is our daughter met an islander in Ontario, and they decided to move here to Prince Edward Island. And so we would come out and visit, and we liked it so much we actually bought a cottage here so we'd have a place to stay when we came out. At the time we were retired, but because we were doing so much traveling as well, we decided that we would consolidate and build a home out here, and we were able to find the right property that we really liked. And it's just a stone's throw from our cottage, actually, and it's nice and central. So it became our ideal home here on the island about 15 years ago. This is where the local people and the sailors and that, they take their ice boats and cross to do the transport, especially in the winter when there were no ferries, so to keep it open. And it was, of course, very dangerous time. And they would go until about 100 years ago, they did the last one. And there's actually pictures of them crossing from this very spot that we live on now.
Our daughter was a big reason for coming here. We liked the water and the availability of buying property on the water. And of course, in Ontario, it's so expensive for any water view that this was good.
What really drew me to the island is because I grew up on an island. I lived in the Isle of Man after the war in the 1940s, so I was used to island living. And I've always been around water all my life, and we've been in boating a lot. And so coming to this island was almost like stepping back in history, and I felt very comfortable with the island lifestyle. We actually did design this house to take advantage of the views and the situation. And one thing I wanted to have was a nice entrance so you're not walking into a room. And then you walk through into a large open space that we're in right now, which is basically 3 rooms put together to make one big large one. It's facing south, which gives us great ocean views from any of our windows. The left-hand side, we have a sunroom, which is a 4-season room. An addition we put on later was a 3-season sunroom in front of that to take advantage of the fall and the summer as well. Off the dining room, there's a patio deck where we can enjoy the lovely views we have here. To the right, we have our only guest bedroom, which luckily, with only 2 of us, is only used when we have the relatives coming. And then our primary room, which I insisted was large enough that we could enjoy it and still get fantastic views from it. And of course, built an ensuite and a walk-in closet to go with that, all on one level.
The spare bedroom, it's used quite a bit. Sometimes there's air mattresses on the floor for the company and so on, but it's worked out well. I like the sun porch out front. It's great in the summer because you can cut out the bugs and the wind and so on. It's no good in the winter, of course, but that's where we store all the outside furniture.
My primary room would be the living room in front of the fireplace. I sit there every day and doing crossword puzzles, and I just find that very comfortable. In the winter, we have the fire going, and in the summer, we still have the air conditioning, and so it's my comfort room.
I think the bedroom window is my favorite. You get the whole view right across the front.
Because we do have family coming out, especially at Christmas and that type of thing. And our dining room here is where we will have our meals and that. So it is a common area that we do like to use.
In our other house, we had a separate dining room, and I was used to that and getting used to everything being so wide open. When people come, nobody's isolated, and so this is probably the heart of the home. I like it now, but I'm not sure I liked it at the beginning.
When we built the house, we wanted to build as close to the water as we could without being right on top of it. We tried to have as much grass as we could, cleared off the trees that needed to be cleared. Government wouldn't let you clear too many trees because it's waterfront and they control it, but luckily we had a good view to begin with. As we walk around the house, we've put in garden beds, which we hope make the frontage look nice. And it is a private area where no traffic goes by because we are on a point of land. And so we get very few people other than the local people who know us coming here. The south side is the sunny side of the house, of course. The house is designed to use the sun both winter and summer. The view is everything on this house.
It's always good to be out there in the hot tub and watch the water. I find the most peace on the deck.
I just love going out when the weather is nice. Sit on our patio deck, enjoy the view, all the wildlife and birds that are flying by. I can sit there with a nice drink and maybe listen to some music as well, and it's very peaceful and relaxing.
I like having a coffee out there in the afternoon.
The view is a big feature, but also the weather changes because the view changes with the weather every day. One day you'll have white caps, another day it'll be smooth out there, and when the tide's out you can go and actually walk around the property, so it really is extravagant.
The view of the ocean and watching the sailboats or the shrimp boat and the cruise ships, they pass by us too.
And in winter, we even get icebergs in front of our bay window half the winter. It's fantastic.
It seems to change a lot. Some days it's calm, some days really enjoy watching the weather come in. Even the winter storms coming across, you can tell when we're going to get it.
This property was actually featured on national TV because of the unusual weather pattern we had, which actually piled up ice 30 feet high all around our property during a storm in the winter. And that's really unique to this property almost.
This place was right because, first of all, it had paved roads, which a lot of the properties around didn't have, and the water access. But I have to admit there were so many trees and things around, I couldn't quite imagine what space we'd have and so on. But the boys persuaded me there was plenty of space to build, so.
Well, I'm really pleased at our location. For one thing, we're on the very tip of the point and on a lovely subdivision. All the homes as you drive on here, it is a private road, and all the homes are being well maintained and are of good quality. We only have one neighbor right now. It's almost like having a private estate here.
We're just surprised that we could own something like this. And just crossing the bridge, you feel like you're coming home. We enjoy coming back. Having your own bed and your own schedule and so on makes it feel great to come back.
We've always enjoyed traveling, but all the flights involved does wear you down, even for a holiday. So coming back is more relaxing. Usually I can't wait to get back here. Living on the island is certainly a more relaxed style. We have a lovely beach here we can walk on. We can take our dog down and she can go and chase balls or swim and that. So that is the kind of laid-back lifestyle that appeals to us.
At low tide, you can get right down to the beach. The size of the beach changes every year, but you can walk from here right down to around the point. The water is generally low enough that you don't get soaking wet. The trick is, though, to get back in time before the tide comes back in.
When the tide's in, the rocks can get slippery. At our age, we would hate to have a fall down there. So we've been using our steps a lot less. If we want to go to the beach now, we go down to the road where there's a public access and steps down to the beach.
Luckily, we're not scheduled for a whole lot of things that we have to go to, so it just depends on the day, whether work in the garden or go for walks. The dog, of course, needs a walk every day, so she calms down. She's virtually free around here. We don't have to worry about her wandering. I think it's perfect.
If I was designing it again, I would make a larger study because I spend so much time in there and I find it a little crowded. I could put in a bigger TV.
Once it's done, it's a waste of time to say, oh, we should have.
Unless we won the lottery, I don't think we would ever get into adding to this. It's a good size for us now, and we have done the addition we wanted.
We're going to be here as long as we can.
It's just the two of us, and our age as we're getting on, we've thought our boys would love us to come back to Ontario, and we say, we can't get this in Ontario, so we're staying here as long as we're able to stay here. It's just a whole different lifestyle. If you enjoy water, enjoy swimming or whatever it is, everybody wants waterfront. If you're a city person, maybe it doesn't appeal to you. But I'd say 90% of the people, if they had the money and had the choice, they would live waterfront.
You know, if you live in Toronto, you're go, 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 whereas here you can take some time and just let things happen. Living by the water is its own mindset. It's relaxed and welcoming, and you have what you need in a place where anybody can come and have a coffee or a meal and stay. Just a place where you can be yourself.
Family is everything, and having a nice home where people could come and feel relaxed and comfortable, that's the most important thing to everybody. And it's with us to having the family coming here and enjoying what we have with us.
Whether nestled alongside a riverbank or perched high above a distressed ocean, living on the shore has its perks. But beautiful views are only the beginning. The sights, sounds, and sensations of the water are constant in their impact, improving moods, perspectives, and lives. To exist and grow on its edge is extraordinary, an experience made even sweeter when shared with the people we love.
You've been saying it for so long. Let the water lead.